As the season commenced, Brad Marchand did not have the repeat offender status, which had some believing that he had cleaned up his act. However, in this case, the saying is also true: once a rat, always a rat. After receiving multiple suspensions so far this campaign, Marchand has been busy upholding that #1 villain status league-wide. In this video, we're going to go over a handful of jerk moments that Marchand has displayed so far this season. And with that, here are 5 more jerk moments from Brad Marchand. Now, we all know that Sidney Crosby and Brad Marchand have had a pretty cordial off-ice relationship over the years. Not only have the two practiced in the off-season together multiple times, but they also have displayed incredible chemistry while playing for Team Canada as well. Therefore, when the two Nova Scotia-born stars went head-to-head in Boston, Marchand's attitude towards number 87 had many feeling pretty skeptical. In the final period of play at TD Garden, after Crosby's stick had broken at center ice, he then retreated towards the bench in hopes of getting a fresh twig. Unfortunately for him, Marchand had other ideas and decided to prevent the captain from advancing further. Eventually though, Marchand relented and didn't receive a penalty for his actions. By now at least, most of you know fair and well that Marchand has perfected the art of trolling his opponent. And yes, this does encompass the chirping category as well, something that Marchand does with the highest efficiency. Definitely not trying to pump his tires, just saying that the rat has found all sorts of ways to rattle the opposition over the years. This time around, it was Artemi Panarin that got the brunt of Marchand's antics during the remaining seconds of a game in Beantown. Clearly feeling some frustration due to a pending 5-2 loss, Marchand went on to taunt the breadman until he eventually snapped and threw his glove Marchand's way. After the events unfolded post-game, Panarin went on to reveal what motivated him to act so uncharacteristically, and said that Marchand hit a nerve by saying quote-unquote, "Nobody in Russia likes you." Regardless, Panarin was dealt a $5,000 fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. Just when you thought that we were done with the Pens Bruins game, well, think again, because apparently, for some reason, Marchand went into full-fledged rat mode for the entire contest. Therefore, we'll be spending around half the video talking about these 60 minutes. Well, to be precise, this moment on the list took place directly after the second period. While both teams were making their way to their respective locker rooms, Tristan Jarry decided to stay behind in an attempt to make a fan's day. But instead of letting a young fan savor a moment, Marchand selfishly wanted to troll Jarry and couldn't let it happen. After swiping the puck from the netminder, Marchand tossed it aside like trash. This was far from the end of events between Marchand and Jarry. Just as we really began to believe that Brad Marchand's days of serving suspensions were over, number 63 decided to reclaim the title of being one of the dirtiest players in the league. As the first period opened in Boston, Marchand had apparently stepped on the ice in full-fledged rat mode. While skating through the neutral zone with possession, Marchand was confronted by Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but instead of attempting a legal hit or trying to obtain possession through other means, Marchand decided the best course of action was to slew foot his opponent instead. Even though no in-game penalties were called on the perpetrator, NHL player safety wasn't quick to dismiss the incident, as Marchand was dealt a 3-game suspension for slew footing. Part of the reasoning being that Marchand had previously been suspended on 6 occasions, and also for the same offense years prior. And finally, for the grand finale, with less than a minute to go in the game, things quickly became heated in Pittsburgh's end. Directly after the whistle sounded and play came to a halt, Marchand could be shown punching Tristan Jarry, causing a scrum to ensue. But, to no one's surprise, Marchand wasn't done, and decided to hit Jarry with his stick right in his mask for a dramatic exit. After the dust had settled a bit, Marchand yet again became the topic of conversation, due to the forward's decision to try and appeal the 6-game suspension he was given due to his actions against the Penguins netminder. Despite this, however, the suspension was upheld by NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman due to his reputation, but the appeal did allow us to get some juicy details on the incident, as Marchand revealed what set him off initially was a comment from Jari as he said, quote, "How about that save?" Marchand ended up forfeiting over $440,000. According to Sportsnet as well, Marchand has forfeited in total over $1.4 million in salary at the NHL level.